Hey everybody, how's it going? Stoudman coming right back at you, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a bunch of Blu-rays that I recently picked up. This time around it was just from a hodgepodge of places. Got some pretty good deals on some stuff that I've been wanting for a little while now, and yeah, very, very happy about these pickups. So let's get into them. First off, I got The Dead Don't Die, the newest Jim Jarmusch movie, starring, I don't know if you can tell just by looking at the cover there, but a lot of notable people. You got Bill Murray in there, you got Iggy Pop, Danny Glover, Tom Waits, Tilda Swinton, Steve Buscemi. You've got a bunch of really notable people in here. Adam Driver, like, just the list goes on. So many people in here who have had really long careers, really famous comedians, famous actors, and whatnot. And it is a comedy, but it's one of those comedies that, like, if you haven't seen any of the other movies that Jim Jarmusch has done, specifically movies that he's done with a lot of these actors, like, if you haven't seen Bill Murray in Broken Flowers, if you haven't seen him in Coffee and Cigarettes, if you haven't seen Iggy Pop in Coffee and Cigarettes, if you haven't seen him in Dead Man, if you haven't seen these things, you're not going to quite understand some of the humor to the film, because it's a very meta film. It's very self-referential. They even mention in a couple scenes the script for the film that they're in. So, yeah, it's very, very, very meta, intentionally so. And if you don't really understand the context of all these other movies that Jim Jarmusch has done, you might not get some of the jokes. You might not get some of the silly aspects of the film that are supposed to be all in good fun, right? But either way, I really enjoyed this. I felt like it was a fantastic movie. And I just kind of feel like the reason that it didn't do well, the reason that a lot of people didn't like it, is probably because they are not familiar with Jim Jarmusch. So, if you watch a lot of his movies first and then you go watch this, you'll probably like it a lot better. So, yeah, don't watch this until you've watched his other work, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Next up, I got La Llorona, which they say is not actually part of the Conjuring universe, but after having seen it, I can confirm it is part of the Conjuring universe. I don't care what anybody says. If there is a character in the film who is specifically a character that was in one of the Conjuring universe movies, and he's also in this movie, and then there are other, like, small little ties from this movie to that movie, to those movies, then it's part of the universe. It's not a very strong or important part of the universe, but it's part of the universe. So, yeah, what I will say about this is it wasn't quite as good as I was hoping it would be, but it was still pretty good. I really did enjoy this one. If I had to give it a score, I'd give it like a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. There were aspects that I really enjoyed. There were characters that I really enjoyed. But overall, it fell a little bit flat. It wasn't necessarily as good as it could have been, or as deep as it could have been. So, I don't know, just not necessarily the best movie in the Conjuring universe, but still something that I would recommend people checking out at least once or twice. So, and yes, that is how you pronounce it, by the way. If you're not familiar with Spanish, two L's there at the beginning of Llorona. Two L's means why. Anytime you see two L's together in a Spanish word or name, you always pronounce the L's as a Y. Okay, so La Llorona. Okay, we're good now. So nobody's gonna mess that up anymore, right? Or not even ironically, because they think it's funny to mess it up. It's not funny. Anyways, next up, speaking of the Conjuring universe, I got Annabelle. Annabelle Comes Home, and I really liked this one. Annabelle, what was it? Creation. I think that was the name of it. That one I liked as well, but this one I think I liked even better, because this one kind of sets up a lot of things that they could do in future Annabelle movies, or in future Conjuring universe movies, in fact, because They kind of explain how Annabelle is a conduit for spirits and conduit for that kind of energy, right? Spirit energy or whatever. And then they show Annabelle getting out of her glass case that she's been encased in, and they kind of explain what the glass is and how it keeps everyone safe from her and stuff like that. But when Annabelle gets out, all these spirits that are around her because she's in that room. By the way, like if you've got something like this that is a conduit for other spirits, then wouldn't you think you'd keep it as far away as possible from all this haunted, cursed shit? I mean, come on, man. But regardless, she gets out, and then there are all these different things, all these other ghosts and stuff like that that are getting out and becoming drawn to her because she's a conduit for that kind of stuff. And some of those things, it's just like, you know that they are putting this in the movie specifically so that they can do another movie about this particular thing. So there are a lot of things in here that I really dug, and I was like, oh my goodness, I hope we get to see that in a new movie. I hope we get to see that in a new movie. You only get to see a few scenes with these particular characters, these particular hauntings in this movie, but the scenes that you do see are enough that it's like, well, yeah, I definitely want to see a full movie based on that. That would be awesome. So really, really, really hoping that they do that, because it seems to be the direction that they were trying to take things, at least with this film, is just like, we're going to introduce people to these haunted characters and try and sell them on the concept of these haunted characters as well, and yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? So I really liked this movie. I felt like it was probably my favorite of the Annabelle movies, and it's probably my favorite of the Conjuring movies, at least of the recent ones. So, yes, good stuff. Glad to have this in my collection. Next up, I got the Teen Wolf Double Feature. Mainly just for Teen Wolf. This is actually the Shout Factory print. It's the Shout Factory release of both movies, but it doesn't have any of the special features. So that's the one thing lacking. But the reason I got this double feature was because, for one thing, I'm not really a huge fan of the Teen Wolf series. I really didn't want to pay too much for them. I just kind of wanted to have them so I could watch them again once or twice, just to, out of blind nostalgia, basically. And also, this came to like $6. It was $6 on sale, so I couldn't say no to it because it was just such a damn good price. So, yeah. I mean, I gotta say, my Shout Factory ban or whatever that I was doing is over. I'm just gonna start buying Shout Factory when I need to now because, whenever I can get a good deal on stuff like this, I kind of want to get it. I want to have it in my collection before it goes out of print, and then I can never get it. So, yeah. I don't think this is I don't think this is going out of print anytime soon, I should say. But still something that you want to get for a good price if you can get it. So that's what I did. Speaking of Shout Factory, I also found another title here, a double feature that was $8 this time around, and it was The House Where Evil Dwells and Ghost Warrior. Didn't know anything about either of these, but I figured a Shout Factory Blu-ray release, a double pack like this especially, these ones being a little bit older titles than the others out there, is going to be a little bit harder to come by, for one thing, and for another thing, probably more likely to go out of print soon, and also to be able to get it for $8. Anytime you can get a Shout Factory double feature, especially for $8, that's a good deal. Anytime you get Shout Factory anything for $8, that's a good deal. So I was like, you know what? I don't care what these movies are, or whether or not they're good or not. For $8, I'm going to buy that because I figure even at that price, if I didn't like them, I could probably sell it for at least as much as I paid for it. So it's exactly what I did. And then I came to find out that this particular release is apparently going out of print soon. So, score. Got a great deal on it. If I don't like the movies, oh well. Next up, I finally picked up The Canyons, which is a movie that I don't think most people like, but I really loved it. I felt like it was a great movie. Paul Schrader did this one a few years back. It's probably the last movie I remember him doing where he had any kind of a message to it. So I really enjoyed it quite a bit, actually. And for a variety of different reasons. I felt like it was really well shot. The cinematography was really on point. Also, Lindsay Lohan did pretty damn good, and the fact that they had her, a really like a Hollywood starlet character at the point at that time, and she was playing a character right alongside James Dean, a porn star. Like, the commentary there was it was pretty clear what he was trying to go for there. Like, he chose these people specifically because of what they represent in Hollywood. And then the movie starts out with like a scene of basically what film fans would consider to be gore, because it shows all these old theaters, these rundown theaters that have closed down and they've been abandoned and all this stuff. So it's really like sad imagery if you're a film fan like us, right? And it's kind of trying to send that message of like films as we knew them have died, and all that's left are things like this, people like this, and movies like this. But I have to say, both of them did a pretty damn good job. James Dean didn't really have to do much of anything to be halfway decent in the role because, you know, part of the gag was having somebody like him in a role like this. And Lindsay Lohan just actually did a pretty damn good job regardless. So yes, I actually really like this. I feel like it's a pretty damn good movie that gets shit on for no goddamn reason. Very good stuff, and glad I have it. I got it for $6. Great deal. Next up I got Coming At Ya, which is a movie I've never actually seen before, but when I saw it for $3, I was like, $3? Yeah, I'll get that for $3. Hell yeah. So this is a Western, and it looks like, from what I've heard, it's trying its hardest to be, as it says, there's Blu-ray 3D. It's both the 3D and 2D versions on here, but the movie itself was taking advantage of the 3D craze at the time that it came out. They're trying to take advantage of the 3D craze that was happening back then. There's since been a new 3D craze, obviously, but they were trying to take advantage of the 3D craze back then, and they have a bunch of scenes in here that are apparently like really corny and cheesy and just literally in there just to be like, look, it's in 3D. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what that's like, but $3, and I've heard it's not that bad of a movie, so I am quite interested in checking this one out as well. And then last but not least this week, I picked up Clash of the Titans, the original Clash of the Titans here. I decided to get this one because it went down in price to $5.99, but only at Best Buy. And I was like, is Amazon going to price match this? And of course, they wouldn't. They refused. This was the one they refused to price match. And the reason they refused to price match it was because the next lowest price for this would have been like $26 or something like that. And they're just like, well, if we can get $26 for this, we're not going to drop it to $6. But you're missing the part where nobody's buying it at $26 there, bro. I mean, so I was like, well, if it's $26 on Amazon and it's $6 now at Best Buy, then I'm guessing that it's not going to be in print very much longer. I don't know what the deal is there, but either way, it's definitely one that I wanted to have in my collection, and I was like, $6, I'll go ahead and do that. It's about time that I get this one in my collection. Anyways, classic film here. Got to have this one indeed. So, in total, I picked up 8 titles, but I guess across those 8 titles are actually 10, so 10 movies, 8 titles here. Pretty dang good stuff, if I do say so myself, and I've actually, like I said, I watched The Dead Don't Die already, I watched La Llorona already, and I watched Annabelle Comes Home already, and I gotta say, really enjoyed those. I love The Canyons, I've seen that already. But, you know, some stuff in here that I either haven't seen in a long time, or I've never heard of before, or just never got around to seeing. So, yeah, ultimately, pretty good stuff. I'm happy to have in my collection now. So, yeah. That said, I will be saving most of my money this month for Black Friday. So probably won't have a lot of updates. I might have some updates here and there, but probably not. More than likely, I'm going to be spending more time making videos about Black Friday. People always ask me, are you going to do your Black Friday videos again this year? Yes, I'm going to do my Black Friday videos again this year because people really like those. So, of course, I'm going to do those. Might take a little bit of a different approach to them this year, but yes, I am doing them. I'm doing them. The second the ads come out and I can actually talk about them, I'll do the videos. So, yeah, no need to worry there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget you can find the links to everything that I showed you in this video in the description below if you want to support me in any way, shape, or form. You don't even have to buy those particular movies. You just have to go to Amazon through those links, buy whatever you want to on Amazon, and they'll give me a kickback. So if you want to do that, if you want to support me, that'd be awesome. I really would appreciate it, but you don't have to. You can always just enjoy the videos as they are and pay nothing. Yeah! So anyway, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace.